Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to our conversation today. I'm really excited because we're kind of doing an interview and an interview. So I'm talking with my very dear friend, Paul Myatt. He's all the way over in Australia. He'll introduce himself and tell him a little bit about what's happening. My name is Glory St. Germain from Ultimate Music Theory, and we're here to share some really exciting news about an upcoming event that we're doing, which is Music Business Mastery Live. So Paul, welcome and introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you, Glory. Well, I'm a piano teacher for a very long time, and I live in Sydney, Australia. And before COVID, I used to go traveling all around the world teaching teachers how to use whole body learning. And I'm about to do that again, but I've been doing it a lot online. But I still teach 50 kids a week in 9 hours, and in classes, in groups. So actually 7 of my 8 groups are doing exams from grade 2 to grade 8. Can you believe it?
Wow. And one of the things that you and I are both passionate about is providing education for music teachers so that they can elevate their skill sets and feel confident in their teaching. And obviously, for me, it's music theory. And I remember we shared how in the olden days, you didn't have this kind of support group. You just figured it out on your own and just kind of was like throwing spaghetti at the wall. I hope it sticks, but it might not. And now we have all these resources to connect with educators from around the world. And I'm so honored that I got to meet you and Gillian. And we've shared a lot in our journey. And so many of our music teachers are, started with you, Paul, and some started with me, but they've all collaborated and went, what a wonderful community we've actually developed. And what have you found in your teaching groups that's really kind of elevated, maybe your skill set as an educator?
Well, I've certainly found when I'm teaching teachers how much I learn as well.
Yeah.
I'm currently or just about to teach a whole body learning courses for Trinity College and ABRSM syllabuses. And I'm just amazed with what the teachers come up with. And we all share together because we have a Facebook group and they all do their homework into the Facebook group. So everyone gets to share. And I think that that's been one of the really important things. And I certainly know in the studio that we run from Piano Teaching Success, every month we highlight and showcase videos that teachers have uploaded to share with other teachers. And we were just interviewing some teachers just recently about their experience of being in the studio. And they were saying, I just love being able to share what I'm doing. And then I learn so much from other teachers as well. So it's really wonderful.
It is. It really is, Paul. And I think that's what I love too about being part of, communities and part of Facebook groups, because we do learn from each other. And even as I'm presenting MusicBusinessMastery.live, I have presented it, several times, and we continue to present it throughout the year. But when we come together for 3 days of intensive learning about mindset, strategies, and tools to teach with confidence and, become profitable in your music teaching business, we always learn from each other as well. And it's such a great opportunity. I'll just pop it up. So if you're interested in learning more about this upcoming event, it's 3 days live. MusicBusinessMastery.live is where you can get all the details. So one of the things we talked about just before we went live, Paul, was just about mindset and how important it is. And the saying, if you think you can, or you think
can.
Anything
you think you can't,
you're
can't.
right. So share a little bit about your philosophy about mindset.
Well, it came from working with children and really getting kids into a mindset that they can do things, because learning piano can be a bit of a challenge at times, especially with someone saying, oh, that's not right, and trying to fix them up and go, well, this is learning, this is an opportunity for you to learn. And I found that with teachers as well. I mean, at Forte, we've got over 8,000 students in Australia, New Zealand, and the UK, and we just opened in the US as well. So we've had to actually train teachers in how to use our method. And it is challenging. So we talk a lot about mindset because
Mhm.
for a lot of teachers, this is not how they've learned.
That's
And,
right.
when teachers go to your Business Mastery Live event,
Yeah.
and it's about theory and doing theory classes and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
they probably never did that when they were children.
That's true.
And so, your learning experience now, or your teaching experience now,
Mhm.
is probably very different to your learning experience back when you were a kid.
Oh, yes.
I know, certainly know my teaching now. I'm like going, I wish I had learnt like this.
Yes, and it's so true, Paul. I was talking to Sheila McKibben-Uren earlier today, and she's my co-author on some of my publications and my editor when I first started out, and we both shared that we both had a little blue book and a little skinny book that took us from beginner ABC, which we've written now, all the way through advanced. Can you imagine? We've got over 50 books, and now we took this one little blue book and a stack of staff paper, and then good luck with that. And it was
Mm,
boring, it wasn't fun, it wasn't engaging. And just as you talked about piano, if you don't have that really strong foundation in music theory, then
mm,
learning can be frustrating, because
yeah,
if you struggle with, well, what is an interval and what's a triad and what's a chord and how do I read this, and to make it really easy and fun, it's just so important to lay the foundation and then continue. So when you're teaching in groups, if you're teaching music theory or you're teaching piano, it's a win-win. And one
mm,
of the things I share in the Music Business Mastery is about the 5 fundamentals of how we actually learn faster in groups, which is why your program is so successful too, because there's community, there's support, there's differences in understanding that. And what do you think are some of the benefits of the group teaching, other than making a lot more money?
there is that. But actually, the students get a better result as well.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I certainly when we were online teaching, and in my classroom, I can hear everyone playing, but in
Yes,
online, um, we had to get I'd have to listen to each student individually.
right.
Nobody wanted to be the one that couldn't do it, so they all practiced a lot, and that was great, and so they actually did probably as well,
Yep.
online as they did in face-to-face lessons. That, of course,
Mhm.
they all love face-to-face lessons because
Yeah.
they're there with their friends,
Yeah.
and sometimes getting them to shut up is a bit of a challenge, but they are having a great time, and when children have fun, all
Mhm.
their brain is open to learning, and they remember
Absolutely.
things, and so that is so important. So if my kids are having a great time, I know that they're learning.
Mhm. 100%, 100%. And it's interesting because I'm doing research in my book, I actually found that learning some things, and in particular books that you're reading, can actually be detrimental to your learning because you're confused, you don't get it, and you don't like it. And on the flip side, when I started to create the Ultimate Music Theory workbooks, I wanted them to be fun, which is what you just
Mm,
said. I wanted you to think it was easy, because it's that curved learning, or spiral learning, as some of them call it, where you learn something and then you come back and revisit it and you go, oh, I feel good about this.
mm,
Little do they know it's a review, but it makes them feel confident and it
mm.
makes them feel empowered. And one of the things I really want to thank you for, Paul, is that you shared a lot of that in the Power of Why Musicians anthology series
Mm.
that we've compiled. And in fact, not just once, not just twice, but 3 times international best-selling author, Mr. Paul. And I want to thank you for those contributions, because you shared your story and your journey of, like, it wasn't always easy, but maybe just go back a little. And I mean, you've developed, uh, you know, a grand, I mean, when you talk about 800 students, how did that even get started for you?
Phew. Well, thank you for the opportunity for the to be in the Power of Why, Glory. It was your brainchild, and it was just a fantastic opportunity for all of the authors.
Mhm.
We started 28 years ago,
Yeah.
and in a little town in Australia, and we just grew, and it was putting the hard work in,
Yeah.
but also getting help, getting professional
Mhm.
business help,
Yes.
to expand. And I think that's one of the critical things to being successful, is actually reaching out. and
Mhm.
and asking for help, and that's an opportunity that we're both offering.
Yes.
And when you do ask for help, it's actually, um, you know, it's okay to make a mistake,
Mhm.
and learn from that mistake and that pathway that you can create. And so now with over 8,000 students,
Mhm.
it's pretty amazing. But not only that, what I'm most excited about is our people who are our 4-day teachers and school owners
Yes.
who are just so successful. One of our schools in Melbourne has got over 800 students, owned by one person, and she
Wow.
said, "Oh, my husband hated it when I started earning more money than he did." I
Yay!
love that story.
Yeah, it's so true though. And, I'm really glad that you mentioned about reaching out for help because when we look at, and I mean, I've had a lot of coaches in my life, as I'm sure you have as well.
Mm,
And it's why we provide coaching inside our program. And as a matter of fact, within our 3-day live event, Music Business Mastery, not only are you going to be taking this 3-day experiential program, but you're also going to get coaching because we've got some hot seat coaching, some Q&A that happens right after the event. And I live by my coaches. Like, I'm so grateful for that. And when you started your business, of course, you can't go from zero to, multiple 7 figures and growing if you don't have a guide, a
mm.
coach, someone that you can talk to that can give you the next step and get you there faster. Because in my journey too, and I know the teachers that I support, I'm like, why am I doing this? First of all, because I'm passionate about it, but also if I can get you there faster, it's wonderful to celebrate together.
I know.
It's
If we can
so much
help people
fun.
get there faster, it's just wonderful
Yeah.
because we've put all the work in,
Yeah.
to do it once. That's why I love sharing, because
Yep.
I'm like, you don't have to do all the stuff that I had, make all the mistakes I did
Yep.
here. It's all here for you,
Yeah.
and run with it. And that's what I love seeing as well. I'm sure you do too, Glory.
Absolutely. I think that's why we do what we do, Paul. And
Excellent.
and I'm so grateful that you're hanging out with me tonight just to, well, for you it's morning, and it's always so funny because Paul says good morning, Glory, and I say good evening, Paul, because we're across the pond, as they say. But I wish you continued success, Paul, because you're amazing and a great friend, and I really appreciate your support and look forward to all the teachers that we communicate and support. I know that they really appreciate you and all that you do and serve. So thank you so much, Paul. It's just been fantastic.
Thank you so much to you, Glory, as well.
Yeah. We'll see you guys at MusicBusinessMastery.live. Check it out and teach with passion. Bye now. Thanks, Paul.
Bye. Bye.